were some key events or experiences in your life that impacted the way how you deal with fear?
I think fear is it's a really interesting subject because for me, I think my whole life has been defined in some ways around uh, both fear and what is closely aligned with fear, I think anyway, is risk. But when I was younger, I had no appreciation of fear whatsoever. And that's possibly what then defined the decisions that I made in my life and certainly around business. At quite a young age, I was made a sales director of the fourth largest IBM reseller in the UK when I was 24 years old. To me, it was a perfectly natural decision for the company to make. I had a great belief in my own ability. Now I look back and think, what on earth were these guys doing? They must have been crazy. I was so young. So I think, having that ability for other people to help you to succeed, I think is really important. And when when that company decided to they wanted to go on a different path to myself, I was very much wanting to develop corporate marketplace, and they were very much historically looking at the consumer marketplace. And eventually they said to me, well, Richard, if you want to do this, why don't you buy the company and do a management buyout? And at the time, again, I thought, well, that sounds perfectly sensible. Why wouldn't I do it? But going through that process, I met some really interesting people who were my advisors and ended up being involved with the company that we set up and had for 25 years. They ended up being involved throughout that period, and they were great advisors. They were able to rationalize some of my youth and perhaps inexperience, and also customers that believed in not only me, but also the vision I had for the business. And they believed it, and they gave you the confidence. And I think it's very much that confidence that you have from people around you that enables you to overcome the challenges and concerns and fear that would stop you doing it. So to me, it's probably more the fear of the unknown. What am I stepping into? Is it going to be successful? Am I going to be able to earn the money to be able to provide for the family? And they're the things that you fear. But as I said earlier, my appreciation of fear was very, very low because I was young. I had the ability and attitude to be able to depress those fears and not have to worry about them too much.
Mm-hmm. And what fears do you have now?
I think your fears now are for the people around you, the people that you love, the people that you've spent a lot of time in business working for. Your fear is for them, and hoping that they make the decisions and the right decisions. And I'll give you an example. My son, a little bit like myself, wants to set up a business, and I find myself more fearful for him than either he is or I probably was at his time. So I have to at some point say, go ahead, trust your judgment, go with what you believe in and believe in yourself, and try to not influence too much with the fears of perhaps somebody like myself and his father.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So it's almost as if you are now consciously providing that support that you had.
Absolutely. And you have to try and overcome your own fears, particularly, as I was saying, now I get older and you've perhaps got less time left in your life, your fears are somewhat greater. But yes, it's now I can act as one of those people that can give other people that confidence, not to worry too much about their fears, to be able to dream and live that dream that they have in their lives.
That there seems to be a certain uneasiness around the topic of fear in business, particularly, right? It's not directly addressed, even though it's a basic human emotion and we have to deal with it. Why is that, in your view? And what is it that we should do?
One of the most positive things that I could do was to create that environment where people felt they could be open, that they could express their fears, that they could express their challenges. And then through that, you're able to support people. Fear is something we should embrace.
Mhm.
We should actually encourage people to communicate those fears, because the fear is what would stop them performing. It's what will stop them from making good decisions, when really they need to articulate those fears, talk about it, and then start to be able to address and overcome them. So I think throughout my business career, creating that environment to allow people to express their fears is something that's been really important.
How would you summarize your advice how to deal with fear for all those leaders and entrepreneurs um, who may be in fear now?
Listen, talk to people who have that experience, who have been through these things and experienced these things. And I would say trust in your instinct and judgment. Don't be fearful of following what you believe, and make sure you analyze and, you know, rationalize it with people around you that are experienced, because they can influence your thinking. But ultimately, trust your instinct and trust your judgment, because you won't go far wrong, certainly in business and in my experience, if you do that. And that instinct and judgment will overcome fear. If you think about it for too long, you'll never do it, because your fears will overtake your reasons why. So sometimes you've got to not think about things too much and just get ahead and do it.